to All-Star Spotlight 2000. I'm Dave Despain. In May of 2000, the All-Star race marked its 16th edition. It was the end of an era for two former champions. Several new faces made their first All-Star appearances. But sadly, it was also the first Cup event after the tragic death of Adam Petty. Just 8 days earlier, the fourth-generation driver lost his life at New Hampshire International Speedway. Petty's death set a somber mood for the All-Star weekend, but the NASCAR community gathered together and began the healing process by going racing.
When you think NASCAR, you think Petty. And when you hear Adam lost his life, you start thinking, oh my God, this can happen to anybody.
He was the heir apparent to the Petty Enterprises whole situation there. We had Lee, we had Richard, then we had Kyle, and Adam was a sure thing.
Well, any time we lose anybody in our sport, it hurts.
The grieving motorsports world pulled together to share in the Petty's loss. But for all, healing began by moving ahead.
You know, we know that the show is going to go on, and it must go on. And in no other industry does it more appropriately fit than it does in this sport.
It's bad that you have to go race, but yet, you know, the world continues, and we have to get out and do our job.
We had kind of wipe away the sorrow and get ready for the Winston itself.
8 days after Adam's death, NASCAR's best would race in his honor at Charlotte.
And they did a dignified thing. They shut down Victory Lane, where Adam had stood winning an ARCA race not too long before that.
I think we'll all remember the smile of the King and Kyle and Adam himself when Adam won at Charlotte. I think that's the most thing that really sticks with me is just, you know, that Petty smile.
With Petty's passing, the 2000 Winston lacked its typical all-star buzz. The year also marked the retirement of Darrell Waltrip, the Winston's first star.
Darrell Waltrip, a hand in the air, a wave to the crowd of 100,000 plus. He wins $200,000. He blows up. What a Hollywood ending.
In an unscripted turn, 2000 marked another legend's final Winston.
And Earnhardt loses it, goes on the grass, comes back, and Earnhardt still got the lead. Incredible.
In addition to that renowned 87 finish, Earnhardt claimed two more big payouts in 90 and 93.
But Dale Earnhardt will collect $215,000 for his third victory in the Winston.
These famous lasts gave way to several firsts, making their Winston debut Joe Nemechek, Kenny Irwin, Steve Hart, Jerry Nadeau, and the hottest young driver on the circuit, rookie Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Well, Dale Jr. was certainly on fire in 2000.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. is Texas Motor Speedway's second first-time Winston Cup winner.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. gets his second NASCAR Winston Cup Series win, taking the Pontiac Excitement 400 at Richmond by just a couple of feet over Terry Labonte.
We had a pretty big couple wins there, and we're riding a pretty high cloud coming into the Winston.
He was really already beginning to make a name for himself, and that's hard to do when his name was already Earnhardt.
You know, he was going to be an all-star no matter what, but the fact that he came out and backed it up was huge.
With that success, Humpy Wheeler's annual Winston predictions come as no surprise.
The newspaper writers, as well as Humpy Wheeler, all picked Dale Earnhardt Jr. to go ahead and win the Winston All-Star race.
Humpy picked us to win, so we were in the paper, and everybody was talking, and we were just glad to be in the race. We were just glad to be there.
Checkered flag in the air put Jerry Nadeau in the Winston.
The crew chief tells the driver, bring the steering wheel back or $1 million.
Jeff Gordon breaks loose, makes contact with Rusty Wallace.
The Winston weekend is no typical NASCAR event. In the spirit of local short track racing, the atmosphere is electric, the attitude all or nothing.
Paying that kind of money for a sprint race like that, I mean, it really puts a lot of, puts a lot of pressure and puts a lot on the line.
Short race, make a lot of money, go home. That was my vision of it.
It was a prestigious race. It's a lot of fun. There's no points. It's just all glory.
It's a race, you know, where the crew chief tells the driver, bring the steering wheel back or $1 million.
It's no holds barred.
They know that they can bring that thing back as a bucket of bolts if they want to, providing they're going to go for the win.
You know, you don't have to worry about bringing that car home in one piece. You just go for broke because the race pace, it ain't much.
Prior to the main event, the Winston Open, allowing non-race winners an opportunity to battle for a place in the spotlight.
The 30-lap Winston Open with the winner transferring to the All-Star race is about to begin.
On the break, Jerry Nadeau gets clean air all by himself, dives down to the inside of the racetrack and takes the lead in turn number 1.
The goal was to get into the Winston, and the only way we could get into the Winston was winning the Winston Open.
Steve Park just made his way around Jimmy Spencer.
So Park takes over the top spot and has his eyes set on the 19th starting spot in the Winston.
You know, it was early in my career, and winning that race, you know, we were kind of elated. But, you know, with all the emotions that were going on, it was just a fact of let's get together and let's get our stuff fixed up so we can get into the Winston and try to win that race.
Steve Park's win moves into the All-Star race, but the rest of the pack, they have another 16-lap duel, a last-chance dash for big cash, a hooligan race known as the No Bull Sprint.
They just call it a hooligan race because it's a mess.
Here we go, 16 laps. The caution laps do count. The winner, and only the winner, advances into the 20th starting spot for the Winston.
I'll tell you one thing, Mike Skinner's wasting no time right now in the front of the pack.
And no need to hold back here. Only the winner will have his evening continue.
Mike Skinner has the race in hand, but mistakes prove costly.
On the back straightaway, here's Elliott pulling even. Matter of fact, now Elliott gets the advantage going to 3.
And rallying back on the inside, though, is Mike Skinner.
Skinner pumps him away. Sadler is at the wall. Caution is coming out as LePage will lead Nadeau back to the stripe to take the yellow.
LePage got the good jump, and here comes Nadeau from the outside lane, and he is strong up there. Nadeau clears LePage, takes the lead off turn number 2.
He has it all the way with the floor.
Checkered flag in the air put Jerry Nadeau into the final starting spot in the Winston. He wins the No Bull Sprint.
They're thinking back, God, I'm actually in the Winston. There's 20 of the best drivers. And it was a moment that I'll never forget.
Gentlemen, start your engine!
3 south. Earnhardt Jr. just tore a wall down coming off turn 4.
Each May in the Queen City, the kings of NASCAR light up Lowe's Motor Speedway. After 15 runnings, Darrell Waltrip prepares for his last Winston.
The All-Star race, you always capitalize. I had a chrome car, and that was always my signature, you know, the chrome car. And I tried to yuck it up as much as I could and get all out of it I could.
All right, you race fans, are you ready for some racing? Get up on your feet and help me get this show on the road. Gentlemen, start your engines!
This first segment, very simply, 30 green flag laps. And then at the end of the 30-lap segment, a decision will be made through a game of chance as to whether the top 12 spots will be inverted to begin the second segment or whether no one is inverted.
Get ready. Ready. 3 south.
Good quick start for Bill Elliott.
The 94 car jumps to a swift lead. The 43 makes a quick exit.
Trouble, Kenny Irwin backslides, takes out 2 cars with him near the tail end of the field. There you see John Andretti. What a heartbreak for the Wheaties STP team. Caution is being displayed. Remember, caution laps do not count.
8 Winston winners pepper the Winston field, but it's the newcomers who are adding the flavor to the night.
Jeff Gordon, Joe Nemechek, and Steve Park there, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th. Jeff Gordon, fabulous.
Whoa. He is flying. Park on a mission. Look at him go.
We had a great race car. We had a car that we felt that we could win that race.
There you see Jerry Nadeau going around Bobby Labonte for 8th.
Boy, he's got to feel like he's got a small cape on his back right now. Jerry Nadeau is on a mission.
Well, we said earlier tonight that some of the guys out of the Winston Open could well win this thing, and it could happen.
We were comfortable because we were able to go through 2 races before the Winston.
Here goes Junior.
Boy, the crowd's going crazy on the front straightaway here. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is for real.
He's got the whip out for those Clydesdales right there. They just flew right on by Rusty.
We didn't really know what the method was and what the strategy was, so we just kind of let it all hang out.
The Winston consists of 3 segments. In segment 1, Bill Elliott's early lead is never challenged. But between segments, luck is more important than performance.
The yellow ball comes up. They will invert 1 through 12. If it's a red ball, they will not invert. And there you see, they will invert the top 12 in the start of the second segment.
Adjusting the lineup calls for adjusting the car's setup. As segment 2 begins, who's going to step up to the plate?
You get him in a ballpark with fresh tires up, 20 of those guys could have parked their race cars.
Everything comes out of you. The devil comes out of you.
From the shadows of segment 1 will come the night's second leader, thanks to the inverted field.
This is no fluke. Joe Nemechek could win this thing tonight. He has got a fast car.
Segment number 2 of the Winston, Joe Nemechek and Jeremy Mayfield battling on the front row.
This is hard racing for the lead.
They're still side by side as they come by the first lap here. These 2 cars look like they're glued together.
We were up in the front of the pack early in the race, and we definitely had the fastest car there.
Adjustments during the break make for an ill-handling 8 car.
Meanwhile, Earnhardt Jr. comes off the racetrack. He will make an unscheduled stop.
But a remedy must wait 1 more lap. Events on the track raise action to a fever pitch, and the 8 skips treatment to stay with the field.
There goes Dale Jr.
Jeff Gordon breaks loose, makes contact with Rusty Wallace, tries to gather it back in. He's collected by Steve Park, Dale Earnhardt.
Elliott somehow gets through.
Boy, it was a close call because apparently the tire was not flat. That was their initial report. In fact, they did not get the lug nuts tight on that left rear.
We got caught up in a wreck with Jeff Gordon and Dale Earnhardt, and we actually thought the wreck actually made our car run better.
Park in that wounded yellow number 1, GC10, running surprisingly well, given how beaten up that car is.
Just look back here at Dale Earnhardt Jr. He started in the very back of this bunch, and he's already back in the contention. He's just passing cars left and right.
Well, Hubby may prove to be right again.
Coming out of the pits, the 8 car hits its stride, but that isn't all it hit.
Earnhardt Jr. just tore a wall down coming off turn 4.
Doesn't seem to have slowed the Budweiser Chevrolet.
But you know what? He never lifted. He never lost an inch on the speedway. Unbelievable.
Earnhardt Jr. charges to the front, but the top spot maintained by Elliott.
Now they're coming towards the caution. That will end segment number 2.
Well, let me just tell you that Bill Elliott has done everything right. He's avoided all these wrecks, and that race car is a rocket ship.
And now as everybody comes across the stripe, once the last car gets by, they will then throw the caution.
Elliott's segment win keeps the field in check, but a 10-lap dash will cap the Winston. With one final segment break to pit, cars, crews, and drivers have more green on their mind than the waving flag.
know, the last 10 laps, you're on the go. Your foot's on the mat, and you're trying so hard to hang on. You know, everything comes out of you. You know, the devil comes out of you.
Oh, hard. And Nemechek almost goes around.
Steve Park got in the back of Nemechek, but he hadn't lifted yet. He's still side by side.
Joe leaned on Bill Elliott and got Joe backed up a little bit, and I bumped Joe a little bit and got them both up out of the way.
Steve got in the back of me, turned me sideways coming off turn 2, and just lucky I saved it. I don't know how I did. Lost a position or two and caught Steve going down the front stretch and returned the favor.
Stewart, in comes Gordon. A major accident in the final segment of the Winston.
Probably the worst mistake I ever made, but you look back at that stuff and it's pretty disappointing. It wasn't meant to wreck him. It was just giving him back the same thing he just did to me, and it's just part of racing.
We felt we were in a position to win, and you know, it all ended in turn 1, turn 2 with a wrecked race car.
He went out there and got it done.
Dale Sr. knew that Dale Jr. had arrived.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. is going to make a move down the front straightaway. Can't make it happen yet.
All night, the 8 cars' pit stops have improved its setup. The final 10 laps begins with a pile-up, giving the Budweiser team its final spark.
We were running third in that last segment. I said, I can't win it right now. We decided that race pays so much to win. If you're running second even and you don't think you got what you need, pit, you know, come in and make a change, and we did, and that was the way to go.
You get him in a ballpark with fresh tires on with 10 laps to go, 20 of those guys could have parked their race cars.
Flags in the air, good clean start. Smoke is coming from where? Jarrett's car?
DJ smoking for sure.
Dale Jarrett's car smoking.
I was complaining about the smoke, and I was hoping they were going to black flag him so that I can be the leader, and then they'd have a hell of a time getting by me.
While Nadeau looks ahead to Jarrett, Earnhardt Jr. comes from behind to challenge for the lead.
Keep your eye on Dale Earnhardt Jr. He has come from the back of this pack again. He made a late pit stop. What a run he's making on the outside of Nadeau to take over second now.
He pitted 2 laps into this final segment. This is the battle for second. Dale Earnhardt Jr. has it. Now can he make up a half second on the smoking car of Dale Jarrett?
I knew once I saw him back there wasn't any chance hardly holding him off.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. is going to make a move down the front straightaway. Can't make it happen yet.
This is for the lead and for a possible payday of better than $500,000. They are going to be to the white flag next time.
He's going to the outside. He's pulling even as they head down the back straightaway.
Dale Earnhardt Jr., a 2-time winner this year, trying to grab the Winston away. But here comes Jarrett.
Earnhardt got a little better run off that corner there. Fresh tires, he takes the lead, Eli.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. grabs the lead here at the Lowe's Motor Speedway. He's a mile and a half from victory lane.
That's short track racing on a high-speed racetrack. He went out there and got it done.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. in his rookie season wins better than $500,000 and takes home the top prize in the Winston, the 16th renewal.
To make such an impact on that night as a rookie, to be the first rookie to win it at the time, we were able to pass my dad and on the outside for the win. That was, you know, just the way we did it. It was really spectacular.
I think Dale Earnhardt Jr. probably said it best.
We didn't come here to run third. We come here to take all the money.
But his dad came over to Winter Circle and greeted him in an entirely different way than he'd done at his other wins.
Dale Jr. was always trying to do things to impress his dad, and he wasn't a very easy guy to impress.
You know, here's a guy that comes along trying to live up to his name that his dad had really just made so famous in the sport, and he was able to live up to it. It's my favorite victory because my dad was there and he was able to spend the entire victory lane celebration with us.
It wasn't so much the win of the race, but it was the elation at Victory Lane with his dad being there.
You could tell he was happy because when you're in Victory Lane and you're standing there with the Winston Trophy or something like that, he'd look at you and go, "This is cool, man."
Dale Sr. knew that Dale Jr. had arrived. You could tell the way he walked around the next week, his son had done it.
His dad would kick you with his cowboy boots and say, "How about that kid win that race?"
And that face of Dale Earnhardt Sr. in Victory Lane, you slow-mo that thing down and you take a look at the emotion in his face, that was perhaps the proudest moment of that man's life.
The stage now, join us, proud dad.
He was really worried whether I had what it took, whether the team was the right team, whether the right people were in place. And it all came to, he all realized that night that it was a good deal.
As fate would have it, 2000 was Dale Earnhardt's final All-Star race, and so as Dale Jr. pulled into Victory Lane, it was not only a celebration of owner and driver, but also of father and son. And for the fans, a passing of the torch played out right before their eyes, and stock car racing took a bold step toward its future. I'm Dave Despain. This has been All-Star Spotlight 2000.